Rev up your engines! All right, today I got a 2014 GMC Terrain. The 4Runners cost too much money. His wife would have loved the 4Runner. It was out of his price range. This is what he could afford payments on. He's had it for a couple of years, and he's having a bunch of code problems with it, running too lean and stuff. So we're going to go through the whole thing and see, is this something you should buy? He bought it with like 120,000 miles on it. It's got like 140-something thousand now. Now, to begin with, these are made from 2010 to the present, and they're pretty much the same as the Equinox. GMC has the Terrains. Now, generally, GM sells between 80,000 and 100,000 of these every year. Last year, they sold 82,100. Now, when you get a bigger vehicle like this all-wheel drive, they're going to use up gas. This particular one being all-wheel drive, it gets 19 miles a gallon in the city, and it's getting about 26 miles a gallon on the highway. Well, you know, they're big vehicles. They're going to use gasoline. That's just how it goes. Now, under the hood, this particular one's got a V6 with direct injection, puts out 301 horsepower, and a 6-speed automatic transmission. And as such, being a V6 engine in a heavy vehicle, they do have a limited lifespan. This one's got like 146,000 miles on it, and it's starting to show its age. It's getting a bunch of coats. So what the owner wants me to do is to go through the whole thing and tell him what kind of a lifespan is he going to get out of it, because he's making payments on it. That's the problem when you can only afford a certain amount, is that you're often going to overpay for a vehicle. The payments are going to be relatively high, yet the vehicle may be lumbering towards its end state of either the tranny or the engine will break, and it's more money than it's worth to fix the vehicle. Now you can see the headlights are fading away. That's minor stuff. What we're worried about is the engine and the tranny. So, at least it's still got a key, I'll give him that. Sounds okay. But he did mention that when he starts it up cold, sometimes it hesitates a little while. And he said, as you can see here, he's got PO 172 and 175 for fuel system rich, even though he just spent a bunch of money at the dealer. They said it would fix his problem by changing just the fuel pressure regulator, and that cost him $509.84. He kind of paid a bit too much for something that simple to change out. But the main thing is it didn't fix his problem. So we're going to look at the data, do a standalone diagnosis of it, read the VIN, that was fast. We can see it, 2014 light truck GMC Terrain, 3.6 liter topology scan. So here it goes. While it's doing it, we'll look around. All right, for an 11-year-old vehicle, other than this is coming apart here, it's got a seat cover on because the seats are kind of worn out, but you can always put seat covers on. They got the seat for the kid. It's got a lot of room in it. You can carry a lot of stuff in these things. Comfy seats. You see, it's got 10 trouble codes. So we're going to start with the BCM. Sunroof, we don't care about that crap. Sunroof, sunroof, sunroof. Turn signal short, the battery. Right rear turn signal is open. Trains know it's working, so I mean, that's not something he really cares about. We'll erase these codes because they're kind of meaningless anyways. We'll check these out. Electronic brake control. Maybe it's got a problem with the ABS. I don't know. We're going to find out. Hey, the brake booster pump motor says it's not running. We'll have to check the brakes, see if they stop okay. If he's having braking problems, he's probably going to have to change that booster pump motor. Because you can see it's still got a vacuum booster on it too. If they work good enough, he'll probably live with that too. We'll erase that and we'll see if it comes back after we road test it. The engine control module, the big one, has codes for fuel trim system, rich on bank 1, rich on bank 2, engine misfire, evap, large leak detected, fuel level sensor circuit high. Let's look at the engine. It only had one cycle when it misfired, but you can see subtracting 10% fuel. So it is indeed running rich. So what we're going to do is we're going to erase all the codes. You can see they're all erased now. And we're going to put some of Bernie's fuel cleaner and then take it for a drive. 505 CRF ATS chemical fuel cleaner. Now, unfortunately, my grandson stole all my funnels, so I got this other bottle, and I'll pour Bernie's cleaner into this bottle, and then I'll pour it in the gas tank. I'll have to go buy some more funnels. I'm gonna have to lock them in a cage or something. Look at the masterful pouring. Kind of funny when you think about it, because this little squat bottle fits in this one that's tall and skinny. Now we can put it in the car. But before we do, we might as well check the air filter, see if it's clogged up. That can make it run rich if it clogs the air flowing. And you know, they have some squirrely tool. It's a 25 Torx wrench. Screws aren't good enough. They got to put these stupid torque wrenches on. What a pain in the butt. They got them hidden all over the place, too. What kind of idiots design these things? 4 of them, too. Like what? Somebody gonna come here and rip this thing off? Last one. I hope there's enough room to get it off. Who knows? They make these things so poorly. And we'll check it out. That's pretty clean. Not too much stuff comes out. It's not that bad. Now we'll screw the stupid thing back in. You never know. I've seen them clogged up, cause all kinds of problems. But somebody at some point in time has changed this one before. And it's not that bad. That's not causing it to run too rich. So I'll close the hood, take it for a spin for a while, see if it'll clean things up. Start her up. See, it's got more than I thought it had on it. It's got 161,988 miles. Now, normally I don't advise people buying these things used with that kind of miles. Generally, the engine and the trannies are out, so we'll take it for a good road test, see how it feels, and let the cleaner do its thing. Now, it is old enough. It's still got a regular emergency brake. Push on. Push off, so that's good. It's not the electronic crap. And I want to say it still idles pretty smooth. No problems with that. See how it shifts gears. Not bad. Pretty smooth. Still shifting the gears pretty good. Putting it in manual and low gear because I want the engine to rev higher so the cleaner will work better. Rather than driving 120 miles an hour, I'll just make the engine rev higher by keeping it in a lower gear, and it'll clean things out faster. Pretty good when I manually shift it. I just want to keep it up faster RPM so it'll clean out quicker. You can see we're going at a higher RPM, so it's just like driving at higher speeds for the engine. It'll clean things out faster. Got a little here, I'll put it down back into first gear. Man, that guy's driving any slower, he'd be going backwards. Ooh-wee, well, he's turning at least. So then we can go our way when he goes by. There, we'll put it in second gear and leave it at that. See that way the engine's revving higher. It'll clean things out better. But we might as well just go to third gear. We'll shift it one more. That's good enough. Then we'll keep it around 3,500 RPM. Ride it around and way that way to help clean stuff out. Other than that, it's traveling perfectly smooth. Shift's fine. Don't hear any wheel bearing noise. The rest of the vehicle's in pretty good shape. Kind of sloppy shifts when you do it with the button, but hey, all the vehicles, they don't shift all that well. When you do these old things with the manual shift on automatic, when it's just an automatic, it's nice and smooth, but you get a lot of lag in these when you try to shift them manually. It's motoring pretty smoothly down the road. It's fun playing these shifts. That's the downshift, that's the upshift when you put it in manual. Sounds fine, doesn't knock or anything. It's pretty smooth. It's actually in pretty good shape. It's just showing that it's running a little bit rich. Okay, now it's the next day. It's 17 degrees in the morning, cold. He said it had a problem starting cold, and the cleaner's been soaking in the injectors overnight, so let's see how it starts. Well, we'll climb inside, shut the door, see if she starts up. It is cold. Starts right up. It's possible. Drive with care. Hey, it's warning you. Rev it up a little. Hey, so far it's running good. We'll check some of the data. Hey, this Link Scan tool has got some pretty good graphics. It's searching the VIN. Knows it's a 2014 GMC Terrain. We'll do a total system scan. You can see it has no trouble codes now. Rather amazing. Just like an hour drive with Bernie's cleaner. It's no longer showing that it's running rich. Now let's look at the data stream. And you can see here, look at the short tune fuel trim. -3, 1, -4, 0. Before I was doing like -22. What happened in this case was the fuel injectors weren't spraying right. If they don't spray right, if they dribble instead of making a nice cone-shaped spray, it won't burn right. You'll have on-burn gas. It'll say that it's running rich because the oxygen sensors will get all that on-burn gasoline flowing through them. You can see, now it's short term, so it'll go up and down as it's adjusting. It's very cold outside. What a difference. Sometimes they're 0, 1% off, 1% there. Sometimes they're at 0. Just goes to show you, Bernie knows what he's doing with that cleaner. It gets the crud off the injectors to clean the system. Now, this is a GDI system, so it's not going to clean the intake valves. The intake valves are only going to be cleaned by physically either taking it apart and cleaning them, or by putting a cleaner inside the intake with an injection system like I have as a mechanic, which would spray the cleaners over the valves. It doesn't get on the valves now. It's going through the fuel injectors, cleaning them, and then cleaning inside the cylinder, but not cleaning the back side of the intake valves because they're closed. Only air goes through them. No fuel goes through them on a GDI system. That's why it's called gasoline direct injection. It sprays it right in. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.